Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the PKF Podcast. I'm joined with Rebecca McCabe, partner of our Newcastle Advisory team, and she's going to be talking to us today about small to medium businesses in the Hunter region and successes that she's had with her clients. So thanks for joining me, Beck. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Beck, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also tell me about what you've been experiencing with small to medium enterprises in the Hunter region.
Yeah, so I'm a partner here at PKF. I've been here for just on 10 years now. And during my career here at PKF, I've spent a lot of my time in the SME space, mostly working with small to medium-sized entities from a whole different range of industries. So anywhere from health and fitness, medical, construction, engineering, and professional services. And a lot of my time has been spent working with business owners that have either achieved a lot of growth year on year over the last few years, or they have just started up in business and have pretty big goals they wish to achieve over the next few years.
That's, quite diverse in way of industry in which they work in. But what is it, just very briefly, what is it like working with, people who have had a lot of growth and a lot of success, as well as startups? Like, how is that transfer of knowledge from your side able to help set up the startups for success?
Yeah, so what I like about working with businesses in this space is a lot of the time they are family-owned businesses, or they are your typical mum and dad run business, or someone that's got a great idea and they want to take it to the market, and we help them execute it. So the good thing about that is that they are very passionate people, and they're very fun to work with because they're passionate about what they do. They want to achieve some pretty big goals, and walking that journey with them and helping them achieve those goals is very rewarding, not just for them, but for us too, to help them get there.
And when you think about all the industries that you work with, it's quite a unique position that you then take of being able to oversee how all these industries operate and potentially, provide innovations into new industries based on what's happening elsewhere that they may not have considered.
Yeah, absolutely. So no industry is the same, right? And no industry has gone through what they have over the last few years. So there's been a lot of learning experiences in there, but no matter where your stages of your business is up to, a business owner that's passionate about what they do and where they want to take their business will see great results, particularly if they put the right amount of support and advisors around them.
Yeah, of course. So tell me a little bit about your small to medium enterprise clients and what is it, they do have in common, whilst of course all being different.
Yeah, so I think in terms of what has transpired over the last few years for small and medium businesses is quite similar. So the back end of COVID, there has been a lot of pressure around cash flow and cash flow management. Those businesses that were well established and had essentially pulled together that cash war chest were the ones that really survived during that period, and it made it a lot easier. But a lot of SMEs didn't quite have that, cash war chests because they're only fairly new to business and were still, working on growing their businesses. So cash has been a big struggle for a lot of business, and really trying to stay on top of your cash flow requirements to get through a difficult time. Another one of the big challenges has been around attracting and retaining people. So it's funny, I meet with, any client, particularly in the SME space, and the number one issue they raise as soon as you say, what's on your mind and what you're struggling with, it's always about people and about retaining and attracting people. So more than ever, it's been very difficult to attract good quality people. And so we've had to, I suppose, look outside the square and look at different strategies for recruiting, and not just your typical, processor where you put up job ads. We're looking at different techniques like headhunting, what incentives or sign-on bonuses we can put, on the table to really attract the right people for our business. And in terms of retaining, employees now are demanding more than they ever have from their employers. So, we're doing a lot around, well, how do we retain good, quality people? What benefits can we provide them so they, want to stay with their employers and, get that loyalty with them? So there's been, a lot around redefining employee benefits plans and promoting that to the market as to, what we can do. Work for home arrangements, flexible working arrangements, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, that was hardly ever spoken of, right? But, now if you don't, as a business, no matter what size, even small business that may only have, a 5-person team, if you don't have that flexibility, those type of flexible arrangements in work, it's really hard to attract and retain really good people.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's something, we're always talking about here at PKF too. So it is something that we're all talking about regardless of size. So explain to our listeners a little bit, as an advisor, an accountant by trade, when you do work with businesses about, retention and staff, that's not necessarily a HR issue. It's definitely something you work out with your clients. What does it look like when, you crunch the numbers with them? Is it about, figuring out what employee benefits they can afford as a business and what that does look like for them in retaining staff, but in a sustainable fashion?
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of business owners in the SME space particularly are so consumed within their business and they don't have a lot of time on working on their business. So they're day-to-day playing key roles in the operations of the business, and there's not enough time to really spend outside of the business and work on improving their businesses. So they're the typical type of business owner we're working with, right? Because once you take them out of the business and we probably sit down and go, well, let's put a plan together. Let's put a strategy together on how we can attract good quality people. And let's put a plan together around the employee benefits. And I'm talking not only defining what, the benefits are for people working for you, but let's put that into, collateral that we can take to the market and really, approach the market with that. So by the time we actually sit down and start working through that, before we know it, we have a, full recruitment plan, and we've also got, an employees benefit plan that we can share with the market and promote within the business.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really exciting. And not necessarily what someone might consider as stereotypical accounting.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no number crunching in that, right? And that's the thing. It's never, these people discussions are never necessarily can we afford to put on more people. We need people to grow our business. We need the right people on the bus to really achieve our strategy. The numbers come into, well, how much are we willing to go in terms of remuneration and added benefits? That's the financial side of it. But honestly, when you sit down there and you weigh up the traditional recruitment and the traditional process for attracting people, that comes at a fee and then a financial cost. And when you start looking at implementing your own recruitment strategies and ways that you can attract people from, headhunting, community, industry, forums and groups you can approach, offering things like sign-on bonuses and honouring long service leave balances and things like that. Most of the time, the cost associated with that doesn't actually add up to be the cost you're paying to, use a typical recruiter in a recruitment process. So it doesn't always come down to the financials, and it definitely doesn't come down to the number crunching. It's all about strategy, and it's getting these business owners outside of the day-to-day to really think outside the square and work out what's the best strategy from a people point of view, and really defining and working on that strategy.
So tell us a little bit, with the people in mind and the cash flow problems that people have come up against in the last 5 years. Talk me through some of the successes that you've had with your clients in managing these two significant problems.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one around cash flow, every business, no matter what size you are, should have a cash flow forecast and a strong cash flow management plan. So they are really easy to pull together with the right expertise, and having that solid plan means that you know when you're going to run out of cash, and you also know when to capitalize on the opportunity to really build a solid cash basis. So putting that plan together gives the business owners that sense of security as to know when we're going to need cash, and how to manage our cash, through seasonality and fluctuations in the cash flow. In terms of the people side of things, so helping clients pull together a really solid employee benefit plan has been an added bonus there. I think, and when it's like here at PKF, until you actually really sit and start defining the benefits that you actually do provide to people, you'd be surprised how many you actually have. So really pulling together the benefits of working for the business, and I suppose what the business owners are willing to give to to the employees to retain and also show the loyalty there. Other things, I suppose, is strategic planning. So a lot of businesses don't have a really solid strategic plan, particularly in the SME space, where they have great goals and they may somewhat have a high level strategy. They know what the numbers they want to hit, and they know the growth that they want to achieve, but they just don't have a solid plan behind them as to how they're actually going to execute that and achieve that strategy. And most of all, sometimes they do have that, but they just don't have the buy-in for the people around them. So one thing that we are doing a lot of at the moment is just around really helping any size business with really defining their strategic plan and really pulling together those actions and holding accountability. Because like I said, a lot of these business owners, they're stuck in the operations day to day, and they just don't have the time to work on the business. And so really defining the strategy and, the actions and what we need to do to really achieve the growth that they're wanting to achieve, and where it's not all on them to actually execute, we see some really good results.
And what is it, just on that, when you think about holding business owners accountable, how do those conversations typically go when it's, they might be some heated conversations or some hard conversations that need to be had?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really easy to come up with strategic actions and go, this is what we're going to do to, achieve the results that we want for our business. But once you actually put someone's name against an action and hold them accountable to it, you'd be really surprised the results that you actually get. Like anything, once someone's going to hold you accountable to it, absolutely, you do put it front of mind, and you do have it the focus on there. And I think that's the benefit of having external advisors, right? Someone that's not involved in your business day to day, but can help you understand where your business is at and help you go, take it to where you want to take, just means that you've got that other level of accountability and someone else to really help you get there.
So, you've overcome some great challenges in the last 5 years with your clients. Talk to me a little bit about, look into your glass ball. Tell me what the future holds for small to medium enterprises and what you see as the next horizon of challenges coming their way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing for all business owners that they should really be heavily focusing on at the moment is the changing landscape with AI, particularly around the risks with AI and also the opportunities that AI presents. I think it's a no-brainer that AI is here and it's here for the long run. As business owners, I think that the key thing that they really need to be focusing on is, firstly, what are the risks for their business associated with AI? And I think when I talk about risk, it's easy to go, let's adopt AI in our business. A lot of people are using it at the moment, but what's the risk of your business information being put out in public forum and exposure? You can't stop your employees using ChatGPT and some of these other AI tools. What measures are you putting in place to ensure that they're not going in and using these tools to help them in their day-to-day work that essentially has confidential information which exposes you and your business? So there's a lot around, that was a very basic example, but there's a lot around risk that needs to be assessed first with the changing landscape in AI. And the other opportunity is that, we know that AI is a way to go now. So as businesses, there's plenty of opportunities to capitalize on AI within your business to achieve, efficiencies, productivity, and really incorporate it into your day-to-day so that it helps you grow your business and achieve your strategy. But it's not going away. So I think, give it another couple of years, and even in our industry, the small accounting firms or advisory firms that they don't have an AI strategy or aren't really adopting AI, they're going to fall behind in the market. It's definitely a very changing landscape, and I think give it a few years, and the way we do business and how we do business is going to be completely different.
Yeah, completely agree. I sit in a lot of, putting on the marketing hat of marketing forums and marketing conferences, and even the way in which we did work before Christmas last year is now infinitely different to how we do it now, and it's only been 6 months.
It's very exciting, and with any change, if it's not properly responded to and embraced, then you definitely fall behind the game. So very, very interesting space to watch. Another thing is around succession planning, and we're seeing this particularly in the wine industry as an example, but I think it crosses across multiple industries. But there's a lot of businesses out there that lack a real strong succession plan. And, business owners think, well, I don't need a succession plan because I don't plan to exit my business anytime soon. But historically, there's been a lot of, family-owned businesses that have just been handed down generation to generation. And the next generation don't actually want to take on the family business. And we're starting to see that a lot more across multiple industries. So, very well established, profitable family-owned businesses where the next generation saying, look, I'm happy to work in the business, but I don't want to take the responsibility of taking, the business further. So, gone are the days that our succession plan was to hand the business to the next generation, which means business owners are looking for, turning to other ways to, get out of their business, whether that's, bringing in private equity or, selling their business off and bringing in new owners, or, management buyout, or someone within the business taking over. And whether you're looking to get out now or in the foreseeable future, you really need a strong succession plan, because you can lose a lot of value very quickly if you wait till the last minute. So I think succession planning is becoming more and more important, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that over the next 12 to 18 months in light of the next generation coming through and the desire not there anymore to take on the family-owned business.
What piece of advice would you give to a small to medium enterprise right now?
I think the biggest piece of advice I would give you right now is, if you haven't considered AI for your business, you need to. With the significant change in landscape in AI and how fast paced it's moving, I strongly recommend that you consider the risks associated with AI in your business and the opportunities that currently present to you to bring AI into your business. Because like I said, if you're not doing it now and you're not considering it now, you're going to fall behind.
Well, thank you so much, Beck, for joining us. This has been absolutely enlightening. And thank you to all our listeners for joining this episode of the PKF Podcast. We look forward to you joining us next time. Thanks.